Hi, everybody. We need to talk about the Dear Girl drama. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll break it down. Basically, Twitch just started, like a week ago, a Twitch Safety Advisory Council. And somebody, who's now in my server, Catch My Load, actually, I'll just shout him out right now in a YouTube video, asked me how I felt about this last stream. I literally didn't know about it. Because, I get all my content, like, downstream from the people I watch. So, like, I didn't know about this. I didn't know what people really were talking about with the voice chat shit and all that stuff until Vosh made a video about it. And my take is, like, basically, like, as you can imagine by now, pretty similar to Vosh's on this shit. But not exactly doctrinarily the same. So basically, they're trying to make Twitch less toxic. So they created a council to sort of advise on like what to do with the platform and protecting the interests of marginalized groups. As you can imagine, something like this on Twitch is going to be really like ineffectual and kind of impotent. But it succeeded in starting a shitstorm on the internet already. So you've got this guy who is like an activist lord. He's the founder of a support program called Anti-Bullying Ambassadors. So this you have activists, huge streamer right here, another huge streamer, another activist and organization head, another streamer, the subject of the drama, Ferociously Steph, aka Dear Girl. If we can pull up her stuff right here, yeah. This woman, this trans woman, who's here to represent the trans community, I assume. A literal doctor of criminology and criminal justice. A professor at MIT, professor of media, which, makes sense for a fucking media platform. And another huge streamer who's been streaming for 5 years. Now, I think all of these people from all these different groups definitely have a place on the council. Like, yeah, like, there should definitely be a fucking trans person on the council. But I don't think it should be her. I don't think it should be this trans person. And the reason why is because she's basically created a bad optics shitstorm for this entire thing, which is just immediately discredited the Twitch Safety Advisory Council, like before it even really got off the ground. And the way that she's done this is basically by saying a couple of things. One of them being, I think this is the clip where we'll see this. One of them being, and this is the big one, advocating for voice chat to be just taken off of Twitch. So hopefully this is that clip. Please load.
The only way.
Oh no.
The only way to have a level playing field at the highest level of play is to have is to not have voice chat, to not have people give up their linguistic profiles. I mean, and maybe you think you know, if you are a competitive gamer, which a lot of people have been like, Steph, you're not, you clearly know nothing about competitive play. Well, competition, by the way, y'all, competition requires you to get every advantage possible. To become the top 0.01% in any video game, you have to squeeze every amount of advantage you can possibly get. Voice chat is unfair. Period.
Why? Tell me why. But then she doesn't really have an argument for why. But her argument would be that basically voice chat facilitates toxicity, and whenever you join a game as a fucking girl or as a fucking like trans girl, for example, or even as like a black dude or a gay guy, you get basically just verbally harassed instantly. Like just like instantly. Like if I got on like a Call of Duty game and I was like, I had like a headset with a microphone and I'm like playing and I'm like, I hop in the game with the team, it would instantly happen. Instantaneously. It's like, oh, is that a girl? Oh, is a girl playing games? Or like, oh, are you a boy or a girl? Like that shit. That's what would happen. So, that would be her argument, which I think is a legitimate argument. But what I don't think is legitimate is the consequence of the argument of removing voice chat. I don't think you can just remove voice chat. Not only is it a competitive advantage, it's competitively necessary. You kind of need it. Like her own argument for removing it is basically the argument for keeping it, in the sense that it's necessary for the competition of the game. And for cooperation in the game. Like, can you imagine playing all these like shooting games and competitive games without voice chat? Like, and how much of a detriment that would be to the entire experience and probably the entire community. This is regression. What she's doing is basically like, oh, the Nazis ruined it for everybody. And she's right when she says that here's another ferocious take of hers. When she says
Well, no, I'm just not cool with white supremacy, y'all. It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists.
When she says this, she's right. It's true. However, you can't just be like, oh, the Nazis ruined it for everybody. We have to take it away now. Twitch is mommy and you're the babies. And since one of your brothers fucking fucked it up, he fucked it up for everybody. It's like the teacher being like, oh, one kid talked in class when he wasn't supposed to and now we can't have a recess. It's like, it's literally so stupid. You're not a white supremacist, catch my load. You're literally black. Even though you could still be black and be a white supremacist, hypothetically, I know you're not. We're not saying all gamers. Hashtag not all gamers in chat. Can I see some hashtag not all gamers? It's not all of you. But it's a lot of people who play video games. The solution to this is not to take away the toy or take away the recess. The solution to this is to solve sexism and homophobia and transphobia, because it's not like that doesn't exist in the real world. Like, it only exists on the internet because it exists in the real world. I hate when people attack problems. I hate when people attack problems without actually attacking the source of the problem. Instead, they just attack like a symptom or an association or the arena in which the problem is occurring. The problem isn't voice chat, ferociously staff. The problem is sexism. The problem is just bigotry. It's not voice chat. So that's why I think you should keep voice chat in games. Other than the fact that it's just fucking necessary to play the fucking games. But The other bad optics thing. So I disagree with her on that. I think it's a bad take, and I think the Twitch Council should not do it. But that's the source of all the drama. That's why, literally, if I go to YouTube and I search, like, Deer Girl, can I... You get a bunch of streamers talking about this. A bunch of streamers talking about this. I want to see what Hassan has to say about this. I haven't seen that yet. But, Hassan is one of the few Twitch bros that whose opinion I actually value. But, and pretty soon my video is probably going to be up here too. But, the reason why you can't look anywhere without seeing this now is because she said the voice chat thing. So that's settled. We argued against her with that. But she also said this little gem.
So, but I'm hanging in there, and I'm not going anywhere. I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, you know, there are some people that should be afraid of me, and that they are, because I represent moderation and diversity, and I'm gonna come for hurtful, harmful people. If you're a really shitty person, I'm gonna stand up against you. Period. And Twitch is endorsing me to do that. So.
Now, obviously, if you're like me, you might watch that and think based. Like, you might think, all right, awesome. However, saying I have power and people should be afraid of me is bad optics. It's literally bad fucking optics. Especially when you're already under fire. Like, and it's just not professionalism. Like, obviously I can get behind the sentiment. And obviously I want somebody to be protecting my interests on this platform. Which is obviously has a strain of transphobic toxicity on it, because the world we live in has a strain of transphobic toxicity in it. But it shouldn't be her. It shouldn't be her. And part of my argument, which Vosh kind of fucked up this argument. He said, like, he basically said she should take all this hate and then leave because of the hate, which would be unfortunate, but it should still happen. What I think is she should just step down so that she doesn't get the hate. And she shouldn't be in this position because I honestly don't know if she can take the hate. However, I know someone who can. And this is the person who the whole time should have always been the trans representative on the Twitch Council. It's a Lumi Roo. They're a non-binary person, and non-binary people are trans, just in case we have any true scum in the chat. And she runs a really tight-knit, wholesome kind of community where you can't be edgy, but it's just like, it's not like an authoritarian thing. It's just like the whole community agrees that they're that type of community, you know? It's a very wholesome type of... She facilitates a very non-toxic environment. Which is why I think she... Or they, I think I'm misgendering them, actually. I'm not used to non-binary pronouns. I need to get better at that. They facilitate a very non-toxic environment, and they are the correct trans representative on the Twitch Council. and Ferociously Steph is not. So, where's the black representation? Is there black representation? I think she's black. Is Cup and Noodle black? He's not black. He's not white. But yeah. Then there's this part. Then there's this part of it. Oh, you mean just strictly black male representation? I don't know. They don't have it. Maybe you should get on the Twitch Council, Catch My Load. Maybe you should apply. This guy just looks like he wishes he was black, but then there's this part.
Start and come back to here, maybe. Nice and soft. Round to the back of the head. Maybe down a little bit. What's nice about forest creatures is that they'll sort of give you feedback on your scritches. And they're pretty sensitive to scritches. So scritches in different areas get different reactions from forest creatures. You can get.
There's that part of it. She's like either a furry or like a otherkin. Scholars remain divided about whether or not she's an otherkin, but see, we've got the transphobia right here. You just know he wants voice chat gone because his voice doesn't sound female enough. Her voice sounds more female than my voice. This person is clearly unhinged. The trans people are mentally ill meme. People justifying Hitler's election because trans people exist. Yeah, there's the toxicity I'm talking about. You know what I mean? There's what we're up against. Bad optics ruin combating toxicity. And unfortunately, she is just going to do bad optics no matter what. So Lumiru should take the cake on this one. And Vosh agrees with me on that. What Vosh and I disagree on is that this is cringe. I'm going to play it again.
Start and come back to here, maybe.
This is not cringe to me.
Round to the back of the head. Maybe down a little bit.
I don't think there's anything cringe about this. Like, maybe watching it and hearing it, like, just makes you uncomfortable because, like, a sexual connotation maybe. But then, like, so what even if it is, like, okay, who cares? Like, it's not like they're fucking on camera. But I don't think it's cringe. I don't think anything like this is cringe. I think that this is just how some people operate romantically, and that's cool. Like, I literally don't think it's cringy. It's literally whatever to me. Like, people struggle to make me cringe. I'm not very disgust sensitive, and I'm not really that cringe sensitive either. So, like, send me cringe clips, and I might do, like, a try to make me cringe stream. That might be funny, but I don't think this is cringy.
What's nice about forest creatures is that they'll sort of give you feedback on your scritches.
I literally don't think this is cringy.
And they're pretty sensitive to scritches. So scritches in different areas get different reactions from forest creatures. You can get.
She's just a deer girl. Like that. Like, haven't you ever seen a deer girl before? Like, but yeah. Final take. I don't think it's cringe. I don't understand people. Seems like they're getting weirder and weirder. Well, I want a society where we can accommodate people's weirdness. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's not toxic. I value individual expression a lot. Nope, never what? Catch my load. Do we have to debate right now about accepting weirdness? Comedy technically is toxic. Okay, now you sound like the SJW, dude. What do you mean comedy is toxic technically? Never seen a deer girl? You're looking at one. That's a deer girl. But anyways, guys, yeah, I don't this isn't toxicity, or this isn't cringy to me. But the no voice chat thing was, she's just incorrect. She's not right. It's voice chat is necessary, and she's attacking the problem where the problem truly does not lie. So that's my opinion on all this drama. Get Lumiru in there. Ferociously Steph, please step down. I don't want you to take any more of this harassment. Lumiru, despite the fact that I did misgender you and call you a woman when you are in fact non-binary, I apologize sincerely for that. Non-binary rights are trans rights, are human rights. But you should definitely take Ferociously Steph's job on the Twitch Council, please. We beg of you, our non-binary monarch, please take it. So yeah, that's how I feel. That's how this bitch feels about all that shit. So, for what it's worth.